if you don't feel like somebody really, really, really cares about you and the way you're feeling and how you're actually doing, I am willing to bet it's not going to feel like you belong, because they're not opening up the depths of themselves to you.
When you become more of who you really are, you'll be more fulfilled, but you'll also almost inherently be more lonely unless who you are is valued by the masses.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1792, creeping up on 1800, what does belonging mean to you? So we've talked about belonging many times, but we haven't talked about it in a minute. But I wanted to connect belonging to episode number 1791, where we asked, what question do you wish you were asked more? So I've been doing something on my Instagram story at NeverQuitKid, for any of you who don't follow me that want to, where I jump on my story, and occasionally I'll do a question of the day. And I'll just jump on and say today's question of the day is, and then I'll just make up a question. Because awareness is everything, and powerful questions create potentially powerful awarenesses. The question I shared the other day was, what question do you wish you were asked more? And one of my podcast friends, a podcast that I went on, and we've become friends since, she responded and said, I wish somebody would actually ask me how I am. And that's something that we talked about as one of probably the more common questions you'd get. But I think the reason you desire the question that you desire is most likely because it makes you feel like you belong. It makes you feel cared for. It makes you feel thought of. It makes you feel supported. Why do you wish people asked you how you actually got to where you got to? What's the deepest layer that you currently are aware of?
Well, I think we have something called the Triad of belonging, which is feeling seen, feeling understood, and feeling appreciated or valued, which I would put those in the same bucket, appreciated and valued. I think probably feeling seen and valued, because if you aren't seen, if someone doesn't understand you, and this is why I love that triad, if you don't feel seen, if someone doesn't see you, the real you, and you don't feel, and they don't understand you, so you don't feel understood, how can you be valued? It's very interesting, too, because value is so contextual, and all of us, we all have intrinsic human value. One of the things that I think is difficult for people is that they're super valued in certain arenas, and then they're super not valued in others. So if you think about, I watched a documentary with Jennifer Lopez, I'll go briefly with this, but I watched a documentary with Jennifer Lopez on Netflix. What was it called? It was like her 50th birthday, and she was doing the Super Bowl or whatever. And it was just talking about her whole career of how she got to the Super Bowl. And she was an actress and a singer and all that stuff. And back then, she dealt with a lot of racism. She dealt with a lot of stuff. And I remember thinking, behind the scenes, there was a scene with her at Thanksgiving with her family, and she was just like mashing potatoes. I remember thinking to myself, how interesting is it that people would, if she was like walking on the streets, there'd be people, oh my God, Jennifer Lopez, like, they'd be losing their minds, and here she is just mashing potatoes, and her family could care less. And I think that that's a really interesting perspective to think about, because in a weird way, the people that live with you value you more than strangers and less than strangers simultaneously. So Taryn, your wife, she values you more than maybe anyone else because she knows you more than anyone else. But she also takes for granted unintentionally things that, I mean, if you had a podcast listener meet you on the street, they'd be like, oh my God, it's Kevin. Holy crap, what's happening? Maybe, right? And you've had that happen. You've been on someone's phone background, so you are semi-famous now. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
but
something like that.
At the end of the day, I find that such a fascinating thing. To go back to what the point of this episode is, though, the belonging piece, I think that we all want to be seen, understood, and valued for the thing that we work on.
Yeah.
It's for you when you were cleaning toilets at a hospital and the doctors looked down on you and disrespected you and you felt very unseen. You felt undervalued. you wanted to be valued for being in shape. You wanted to be valued for being a good man. You wanted to be valued for more than what you were being valued for. And so I think one of the unfortunate parts, and one of the things that I think will help us all improve ourselves, myself included, is what do I value about myself most? Because what I value about myself most, I probably will work on most and put the most time and effort into. And what I put the most time and effort into might not be valued by others. And that, I think, causes a lot of pain. You and I were just talking earlier about how there's several things that I'm good at, and some of them are not valued at all. And that's okay. But I think socially, a lot of us feel undervalued for the things we actually love about ourselves most. And then that creates this weird thing where sometimes we hide unintentionally the things that we love about ourselves most, and or we put ourselves in environments that don't value those things. Like, don't be a country singer at a rap concert, or don't be a rapper at a country concert. That's kind of the metaphor.
I wonder if it's as simple as if you... So, I never valued who I was. I valued what I did externally and what I had externally. And I think it starts from a place of me valuing, because even if I was to say, what would make me feel like I belong? What would make me feel like I belong is if somebody valued me, who I am, not what I do. Beyond the podcast, beyond the speaking, beyond the business, whatever. There's a person under there.
But there's a problem with that, because who you are is so enmeshed, is the psychological term, enmeshed with...
Yeah.
I mean, who are you if you don't have the podcast? And I don't mean that from like a negative space. Yeah. I actually mean, who would we be? We wouldn't be these men, for sure.
No, but if you took it all away and you stripped all that away, I think the character is what would remain.
Agreed.
Most of the character was created from the journey, but I think that's where the belonging comes in of... If somebody really values you for who you are as a human being, that's, I think, what a lot of us are aspiring for.
Yeah, agreed.
And we want to get to the depths of, it's the scariest thing in the world, but it's also one of the most fulfilling, rewarding things in the world, is when somebody sees you for who you really are. I think that's why the deep questions... I was talking to Matt last night, and we were catching up. We hadn't talked... We played a couple of games of Call of Duty last night, and the first hour we didn't even play. We were just on the headset, just catching up. We weren't even playing the game. We were just talking. It's weird. And I was explaining how I feel like I'm on. I'm on with fitness. I'm consistent. I'm not missing. I'm cranking. And he said, "What do you think made the difference?" And I really love that question. Not because I get to talk about myself, because I get a new layer of awareness that I haven't search for. And I said, we changed our schedules and we don't work until Alan does. Alan still works late, but we very rarely go over our schedule. So I'm able to be in bed by 9, asleep by 10. And if I'm asleep by 10, I get up at 6, no matter what. That's awesome for me. And I don't feel super constricted in the gym because I have enough time. So it's not like, oh, I only have 20 minutes to work out, I might as well not go. That doesn't happen anymore. So it's a number of things that have really... And I said the 10-pound and 10-week thing is great for me. I need some sort of goal to hold me accountable. So that's why I'm doing the next goal.
Yeah.
But it made me feel like I could go see me and figure out what is the awareness under this question that I haven't answered for myself yet. And now I know that, and now I'm more capable of doing it again in the future and replicating results. I just love awareness. I love it. I love getting new awareness, even if it sucks.
Well, that was the thing missing.
100%.
Ultimately, that was the thing that was always missing, is awareness. Because
do you feel like it was admiration of achievement that was missing for you? Maybe not admiration, but interest in how it got done, not just what got done?
Yeah. So if anyone's ever heard the term utilitarian or meritocracy, there are two terms that I don't like the Tesla because it's a status symbol. I could care less, genuinely. I like it because it's the most useful car I've ever had. I've never even liked any of my cars. Makes sense because they were all shitboxes. But at the end of the day, seriously, this thing is unbelievable. But I could care less that it's a Tesla. It's just unbelievable because it's so useful. I love how useful I am. I don't think other people care as much about that. And so one of the things that I've come to understand, and this is one of the problems with being valued and seen and belonging, people don't value the same things. So for example, if your goal is to perform at your best, to be consistent, and to achieve your goals, and to stay on the rails, and to design systems that are effective and efficient toward those goals and dreams, I'm the best friend you'll ever have. But if you don't value those things, I'm just a pain in the ass. And that's the way I've always sort of felt. If you want to achieve more and be successful, you will value me at level 10. I'll feel valued. And this is one of the hardest things I've ever shared publicly. I don't feel valued by people who don't value success and achievement and personal development. I mean, that's who I am. If I were to boil myself down, like who I really am, down to 3 words, it would be self-improvement, success, and achievement. And then the 4th one would be fulfillment. But all of that is only a byproduct of the first 3, assuming they're aligned. Yeah. If you don't value success, achievement, and self-improvement, you're not going to value me. And the truth is, I grew up in an environment that didn't value those things. And so for everyone out there watching or listening, who are you? People say that all the time. They say, well, like, who are you? I'm Alan. Okay. That's your name. So it's not who you are. Like, who are you? You are a enmeshment and amalgamation of your goals and your values and your beliefs. That's really what it comes down to. So Kev, who are you? You are a byproduct of the mission, your goals, the goals we have at NLU. You are a byproduct of what you value and who you value. And you are a byproduct of what you believe about yourself, about others, and about the world. That is who Kevin Palmieri is. And all of that changes and evolves. It's like the iPhone. I know it's an interesting analogy for people who aren't in tech, but the first iPhone was a piece of garbage compared to the iPhone 14 Pro Max that I have now. And then in 5 years from now, this iPhone 14 Pro Max will be a piece of garbage compared to the iPhone 20 or whatever it is. The old Kevin, the first iPhone, Kevin 2.5, when you were 25 years old, was nothing compared to Kevin 3.5. Yeah. I can actually say 3.5 now because it was your birthday. Nice.
That's right.
And so what's my point of all that is not everyone wants an iPhone. That is so important. And by the way, do not put yourself in environments of people who don't like iPhones if you're an iPhone. Because yeah, you can change yourself and you can improve yourself, but you're never going to be an Android if you're an iPhone. And I think that that's one of the hardest parts of life is when you become more of who you really are, you'll be more fulfilled, but you'll also almost inherently be more lonely unless who you are is valued by the masses. Hello, NLU listener. Thank you, as always, for listening to Next Level University. Real quick, I just want to jump in and let you know about the Next Level Dreamliner. This is a journal that I use every single day. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. It breaks down your dreams into goals, milestones, and daily habits. We hope you enjoy it. The link will be in the show notes.
Let me F you up with the truth, as we say from time to time. Not really, it's a question. We do say that behind the scenes often. Would you rather feel valued when you're out in public, if you had to choose, and this is hypothetical, feel valued out in public with others, or feel valued behind the scenes being yourself, being with yourself?
The second one. I literally had to make that choice because I used to be valued out in public before my car accident, and I flipped the script, and now it's...
Do you think where do you think most people struggle? Do they struggle? I feel like most people probably struggle behind the scenes.
Agreed.
Because behind the scenes, you can actually be yourself.
This is scary to share, but I do believe the majority of people are less fulfilled by themselves behind the scenes than they appear to be in public. I'm definitely the opposite. Emilia and I are way happier when we're in private.
Same.
Yeah. And that's I mean, I honestly think that that's an indicator. I think, and the old Kev would have been happy as hell in public at the party. I mean, you were the life of the party, but behind the
Only
scenes,
when I was drunk.
okay, fair, but that's what you do when you put on a show. There was a time in my life I was putting on a show. I told you about the time I was ripping nips in the parking lot before a party. To my ex-girlfriend Courtney, she graduated nursing school. We all went to Jillian's, and I remember I couldn't even go in without a couple nips because I was just so sad.
Yeah.
I was so sad and so unfulfilled, and I just didn't want to be around people because I was just going through it. And so I ripped a couple nips in the parking lot, 4 of them, brown paper bag, very, very classy.
4 is not a couple. So
yeah.
That's
okay,
a couple.
whatever.
Couple.
Yeah. It's more than a couple. Okay. 4 nips in the parking lot. After I already parked, by the way. Okay. After I already parked. Wasn't drinking and driving. But then I went in, and then I had a few drinks there. But you would have thought I was the happiest person in the world. No, I was temporarily happy and in pleasure and enjoying and fun and escaping. And that was one of the darkest times of my life, to be completely honest. That was I've had a lot of ups and downs that we all have, and that was one of the lower points for sure for me.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I would go to Jillian's. I wouldn't even be there, quite frankly. I wouldn't go to Jillian's. But I'd be playing pool or whatever, and I would probably not be nearly as valued because the fun person is the one valued in that environment. So everyone needs to kind of assess, okay, where do you belong and where do you not belong? And if you're going into rooms with persons, places, things, and ideas where you don't belong constantly, it's going to mess with you. It certainly messed with me, for sure.
I am at a weird stage now where Tara and I went to a wedding, and she's like, I feel like we should go mingle and not be antisocial. And I was like, it's not that I'm being antisocial. I'm just being me. I don't.
I know.
But that's a fine,
too.
That's a fine line. That's a fine line between just saying, like, I don't care what anybody thinks, and then just going over that and just saying, well, I'm not going to talk to anybody because it doesn't matter.
Well, there's a big difference between I'm anxious and socially anxious and scared to talk to people versus, no, I'm actually in a good place. This is good. It's all good.
It was mostly that. There's pizza. I'm going to sit over here. I mean, I don't know anybody, so, like, let me just have a slice of za. I'm not being antisocial. I'm not sure how the level of socialness to practice yet. I'll get there.
The other piece of this that I think is really important for you and I in particular to realize, particularly for you because Taryn isn't in this space, we get so much connection all the time. Like her family, so Emilia's family, they say, you guys are antisocial. No. Hey, we talk to people all week, every week. And so on Sunday, when we want to be alone, it's nothing personal. I mean, we had Bianca come over on Saturday last week. They did Evolve Movie Club. They watched a movie called Leo, which is actually really funny, by the way, and there's actually some deep layers to it. But I didn't want to... I gave B a hug. I was, hey, how's it going? And I went up to her office and just... I told Emilia, I said, listen, and I told Bianca too, because she's a client. It's nothing personal. I talk to people all week, every week. The last thing I want to do on a Saturday night after 6 days straight of talking to people is to connect. 100%. I just want to go be alone.
I feel you.
Yeah, I know you do. And so that's the other piece, though. Our connection cup is so met all the time. It's so overflowing. It's so fulfilled. I mean, remember back in the day when you were really lonely? That loneliness hasn't been there in a long time because our work, the connection and belonging is a necessity of our work. And so that cup is always filled. So I don't know if that's true for Taryn or not, but I know that Emilia misses her family more than I miss anyone. It's not not that I don't want to see them. I do. Same. I just don't want to see anyone.
Same. Taryn's house/pet sitting Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday maybe. And I'm excited because I will be lonely. By the time Wednesday comes around, I will probably be pretty lonely.
Exactly.
And because that's the longest... That'll be the longest I've gone without seeing Taryn. I mean, since we lived together. Well, her being gone, right? When I'm on the road, it's different. It's a different lonely. It's a different homesick. But I will be here running the cat family extraordinaire. But I will definitely be come Tuesday night. Or when I get lonely, it's when I'm going to bed. And I'm going to bed by myself. And she's not here. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. I miss her. Yeah. That's when I miss her the most. Of course. That really is the conversation I wanted to have. If if you don't feel like somebody really, really, really cares about you and the way you're feeling and how you're actually doing, I am willing to bet it's not going to feel like you belong, because they're not opening up the depths of themselves to you. And I think that's one of the reasons you and I are so connected, is because we just talk about deep stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And it's very
Definitely.
much, I feel like I belong because you know me. You know the real me.
Surface level conversations. I know we got to jump. I was on with a relationship talks coaching session yesterday, and the male showed up because the female had a horrible migraine kind of last minute. And I was really proud of the male for still showing up, because that can feel a little bit like 2-on-1. And he was pumped. He couldn't wait. And it was awesome. I was like, holy crap. And I also thought for sure it was going to be canceled, and then it wasn't. So I was like, holy crap, I got to go, because I had back-to-backs yesterday. But anyways, so the male in the relationship was talking deep about all these different things that he's been going through. And you can tell when someone is not around people who are talking deeper. One of the conscious love languages of the 25 conscious love languages is deep conversations. And a lot of people, and you and I's whole world revolves around pretty much going deeper on why we aren't more successful. Why is your client not winning in podcasting? Why is my client unfulfilled? Why? So the why. Everything we do at NOU is kind of deep talks.
Yeah.
Everything's a deep talk, essentially. And we're going to have a chief officers meeting right after this, and we're going to go beneath the surface and figure out what's going on, and how we can all be more courageous, and how to design systems. For anyone out there listening, if you feel like people don't know you, and you feel like you aren't being seen, valued, or understood, it might actually just be a lack of deep conversations. And deep conversations are risky, because the truth is, when you let people closer to you, they can really, really, really hurt you. But it's better than living a life where you're surface level, unfulfilled, sort of superficial conversations with superficial people. I really like to get to know people, and sometimes I need to be careful with that, of course, but you can only get to know yourself and others to the extent that you are humble, courageous, and vulnerable. And the courage and vulnerability, I think, is very hard. It's really, really hard to do that. And courage and vulnerability look different for everyone. But I would say that for everybody, I think this is true. When you share who you really are, it's almost always the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because then if you get villainized or attacked, it's who you really are, not your persona.
Yeah, you can't wipe it away and say, wow, that wasn't even really me anyway. So it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is scary. It is scary. The thing that we aspire for the most, to be authentic, to be transparent, to be ourselves, is one of the most challenging things in the world.
It's a sweet hat, man.
I appreciate that. Taryn got me this.
Yeah.
She
got
said,
you some good ones.
She said, no gym. Do not wear that freaking hat to the gym, Kev. That is not a gym hat. I was like, this, not at the gym. Okay. I'll do my best.
It's a good one. Yeah.
It's very nice, yeah. Because I lost, when I was coming back for Toronto, somehow I lost my hat when I was going through customs. I put it in the bin, and then
Somebody jacked it.
Somebody jacked it. They must. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. Or maybe it was still in the bin. I don't know. I put my bag on. I throw my sweatshirt over my shoulder, phone, wallet, keys, AirPods, everything, make sure I got everything. And then I'm walking out of the terminal, and I put my hand on my head, and I was like, oh, my God, my hat's gone. And it was too late.
That's devastating news.
And my hair was a hot mess. I looked terrible.
Of course. Yeah.
I looked absolutely terrible. But yes,
real quick,
shout out to my wife, yeah.
I got 3 new, I've been saying that, the hats, she got you like 3 of them, right? All the same.
No, I got one
One's
this time.
gray.
No,
Oh,
I lost that one too.
Oh, this is...
Yeah, no, I'm
this is brand
sure,
new? This is a new hat?
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever worn this for more than like 20 minutes. It's brand new.
Oh, big fan.
She got me another one of these before, and I lost it. I've lost many hats. I don't know where they go.
So wildly irrelevant. We were at Walmart. She was getting plants months ago, and I found 3 hats. I found a hat that I adore, love it, and it's for any guys out there that wear hats. And I don't know if this is just a guy thing or maybe it's a girl thing. I don't know. When you find a hat you love, it's like cherished.
Yeah.
because it's so hard to find a good hat. And I have long hair, so I need hats because otherwise I'm going to just have it in my face all the time. I just bought 3 of them. Dude, they were like $5. They're really nice. I don't know how they're making money on those. Those are nice hats.
I mean, all it is a piece of cardboard, you know.
They're
Not
pretty
exactly-
nice material. I'm
Not
just
exactly
saying.
rocket
Their
science.
margins are not good. I
You
can
either
promise you that.
cherished it, you either cherish the hat, or you lose them within 6 months of getting them. Depends.
I got a blue one, gray one, and a black one. But I don't wear hats on the podcast, so no one will know.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe one day we'll get you to.
I don't
But-
think I can, man.
Well, no,
I like
it's-
this. I like
You
to
do.
be
You do. You today. I woke up
semi-casual.
today. I got up at 4:45 today on a Saturday. Okay, because we had to drop Taryn's car off to get the oil change. We had to be there at 7:30. I had to do legs this morning, so
nice.
I was like, I got one call with Alan. We're recording an episode, and then we got chief officers meetings. Nobody expects me to look good on those anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna let it be a hat day today.
That's okay. That's who you are anyway, man.
And this is who I am.
Yeah.
This is who I am. All
I
right.
think I'm more business, Jeff.
You are definitely more, I would say just a little bit, just a wee bit more business Jeff than me. Yeah. I have so many awards as well. I just don't know where to put them on my wall. So I got to figure out kind of like, I want to make sure the feng shui is right and the master's degrees are in the right order. And then the PhDs, I don't know if they should be above or below
The master's degrees?
the master's. I had a moment the other day, real quick, where I had, and I don't even want to say it publicly, I had an inkling that I might like to get a psychology degree at some point.
Cool.
But I'm not going back to school. So until I decide that I'm willing to do that, obviously I'm not going to be able to get it.
You can always get a cert.
I could just buy one on Amazon that says I am a psychology guy. I'm sure they have them.
Of course they do.
That'll get a couple gold medals, a couple
Emilia
trophies.
just is taking a trauma certification right now. It's been fascinating to learn through that.
I'll have to ask.
You know, technically, I'm being coached in IFS. So my therapist, because I'm out of state, I pay out of pocket, and she's technically doing IFS consulting with me. So I'm technically on my way to technically
get some
whatever.
CEs. Some
But
continuing
that's why we
education.
teach so much IFS. Is I'm learning it.
You teach it. I don't know anything about it.
It's awesome.
I know about it, but you're not going to hear me talking about it without you.
For everyone, I'm not technically supposed to teach it, but I can talk about it at a high level, of course, which is what I do.
Well, just like you're not teaching money, you're talking about money high level.
Exactly.
Son. All right. Make sure you are subscribed so you never miss an opportunity to get to the next level of your life. And I think it's always good to be exposed to deep conversations. And sometimes you're going to leave an episode maybe with more questions than you came with, but I think that's really good. That's where this whole thing started. We would have deep conversations and see what we could learn in the fray and then hopefully pass those lessons on. So we are back to our hyper-conscious ways. What do you have to tell the people before we let them all go and get back to their real everyday lives?
I had several people reach out, some clients included, that said, hey, the 8 fundamentals of finance that you plugged on so-and-so episode, I'm in. Let's do it. I've taught it at least 3 times since we did that episode. If anyone wants to learn the 8 fundamentals of finance, I would love to teach you. There's a half an hour calendar link in the show notes to learn the 8 fundamentals of finance. Here's what I promise you. You will understand your own finances and the way the economy works much better with these simple understandings. If I were to assess whether or not Kevin will or will not be successful in the future, I would look at these 8 metrics.
And I wouldn't be. So I would need your help for sure. As always, I'm just kidding. We're going to be fine. Everything's fine. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Stay yourself. Next Level Nation.